My initial lesson summarizes two major views on the nature of lexicography. One view considers lexicography as a branch of applied linguistics. Authors like Sinclair and his disciples support this position, which is dominant in the Anglophone tradition. They argue that lexicography applies linguistic theories to practical problems, especially in dictionary making. This includes phonetics, morphology, semantics, and pragmatics. The strength of this approach lies in its theoretical foundation. Linguistic analysis is seen as essential for understanding word usage and organizing lexical information. However, this view has limitations. One of them is that it may overemphasize language and downplay elements such as user needs, access and presentation, specialized knowledge, and different usages. In practice, users of lexicographic products and services often care more about usability and function than linguistic details. Furthermore, it struggles to account for specialized lexicography, for instance. The creation of dictionaries for specific subject fields like medicine, law, accounting, or engineering demands much more than language knowledge. It is essential a proper and advanced knowledge of the discipline to produce any reliable specialized reference work. We must remember that the specialized dictionaries are often not primarily linguistic in nature. They focus on domain-specific knowledge, user intentions, and communicative and cognitive situations, which are not adequately explained by general linguistic theory. A final argument against this view relates to the concept of access and presentation, especially in the realm of e-lexicography. Access refers to how quickly and effectively someone can find what they are looking for. Presentation involves decisions about layout, icons, menus, digital navigation, and even color. These are design and usability issues, not linguistic ones. The second view sees lexicography as an independent science. This position is strongly defended by scholars outside the Anglosphere, for instance, Tarr, Bergenhol, Wigan, Gauss, and Fuertes Olivera, among others. They argue that lexicography has its own object of study, the lexicographic product or service, for example, dictionaries, glossaries, and its own theoretical framework, including user needs, access structures, and data presentation. This is the basis of the function theory of lexicography, which focuses on how dictionaries help users solve problems like understanding, translating, or producing text. The main argument against this view is that it risks isolating lexicography from important linguistic insights. Some critics say ignoring linguistic theory might weaken the quality of lexical descriptions. My view is that lexicography is an independent science. I will enumerate some of the main arguments supporting this approach. First, my first argument is that lexicography has a distinct object of study. It analyzes reference works. My second argument is that all reference works have something in common. They are designed as utility tools and focus on data and user types, user needs, situational use, comprehension, production, translation, etc. Dictionary functions and structures. Access and presentation of lexicographic data. In sum, they focus on ideas extracted from disciplines such as linguistics, communication theory, information science and usability principles, natural language processing, and so on. In other words, reference works are the result of assuming the multidisciplinary nature of lexicography. Third, my third argument is that lexicography addresses user-centered problem-solving problems. Lexicography is user-oriented, not language-oriented. Its goal is to help users solve problems. For example, understanding a legal term, translating a technical expression, or writing a medical report. This practical, solution-based nature goes beyond linguistic description, aligning more with information science and human-computer interaction. Fourth, my fourth argument is that lexicography governs data access and presentation. Lexicography studies how data should be selected, organized, accessed through menus, search, filters, etc. How it can be presented in print, digital, or multimodal formats. These are not linguistic issues, but they require knowledge of design, interface, and information architecture, reinforcing lexicography's independent status. One example of this view is the Diccionario Digital del Español, an online dictionary created at the Universidad de Valladolid within the lexicographic project Diccionarios Valladolid UVA. I will refer to this dictionary several times throughout this course.